Why do we always mess ourselves up? I mean, sometimes we really F ourselves up. We get ourselves to the point where we don't know which way is right or left because we're second guessing. We're making all these choices. And as a result, we become paralyzed and we don't even do some of the most basic things that we have always done, including investing in ourselves.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 96 of Licensed to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I'm your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to the show. If you know anyone that has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. They can join us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you name it. Even ask Alexa to play Licensed to Live. Well, today we're going to talk about hesitation. It's hesitation in regards to ourselves moving forward. You know what it is. It's like that procrastination thing, and we kind of hem and haw, we come to a decision, and we don't know why we can't invest in ourselves. I mean, let's face it. We've invested lots of time, lots of money, and we usually send it to a university. And quite frankly, the university doesn't really matter, but it's a lot of money. And we say, well, at the end of the day, they give us a piece of paper, so we should invest for that piece of paper. But there's so many other things that are out there, and we just stop doing it. So we're going to talk about these reasons and get you ready to move to the next level in your own life right after we're finished thanking our sponsors.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, Licensed to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Licensed to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to Licensed to Live.
Today's affirmation: I release stress from my body with every exhaled breath. I release stress from my body with every exhaled breath. Yet another affirmation to live by. In fact, it wasn't that many episodes ago, we talked with the stress-free MD, Dr. Robin Tiger, and she gave us lots of tips to try to remain stress-free. Yet another affirmation for you to try. You can get your 30 days free. Check out the show notes. And of course, get your paperback. get that journal that you're writing for. In fact, I just saw on Amazon, it was on sale for $8.69 or some insanely low price. So go get License to Live, Daily Affirmations to Rebuild Your Life, and start rebuilding your life. Other ways in which we rebuild our lives really go around investing in ourselves. We have to constantly practice our gifts, reaffirm our talents. We need to keep doing the things that make us unique in who we are. However, when it comes to the next step, sometimes we can't see them ourselves. We don't know where we're trying to go. And therefore, we're just kind of coasting along, relatively comfortable. We're sitting in the middle lane, barely going the speed limit, just saying, hey, we are cruising down this highway and things are going well. And when things are going well, there's not a whole lot of motivation to change. We talked about that in the Be Thankful episode a couple episodes ago. Yeah, be thankful for when times go great. Be thankful when times don't go great. Learn a lesson and then make it great the next time. But we get in our head so many different ways. And this is something I often see. I see people who are very determined to refresh their lives and get going in a career that they really deserve. They are destined already for greatness, but they stop themselves because they said, well, I'm not worth it. And that's the first reason that we're going to talk about. You don't believe that you are worth it. When it comes to additional training, when it comes to even coaching, when it comes to investing money into your betterment, and this can come in the way of health, this can come in the way of investment strategy, but certainly this can come in your own career development and how your career changes. And the bottom line is you don't believe that you're worth it. Why would I spend $5,000 or $10,000 on me, little old me, for little old me to get better? Why wouldn't I spend that money? Well, the bottom line is you don't think you're worth that money. Now, you may think that University State is worth $50,000 a year, or the Backdoor Hollywood Medical College is worth $100,000 a year. But when it comes to something else, which are just simple things in your development, you believe you're not worth it. And well, that is really you. You say, how could I do this? Listen, you have to get that type of mindset out of your mind today. You are worth it. You're worth so much more, and you need to be able to see that. But if you're hesitating to get in with a coach, or you're hesitating to start one of my programs, or you're hesitating to even explore what your options could be, you're stopping yourself because you don't believe you're worth it. Very, very common mistake. What's another one why we don't invest in ourselves? You don't trust yourself. Number two, you don't trust yourself. You say, well, what if I were to invest in this program and then not do anything? I wouldn't get anything out of it. They don't know what they're talking about anyway. So I'm just going to have this mediocre life that I'm not fully satisfied with. Ha! If that's you, well, good luck. Good luck to your mediocre and probably slightly miserable life. Trusting yourself is the number one thing you should do. Because if you have a new idea, if you want to take a new journey, if you want to take a turn in your life or your career, you must trust yourself. In fact, there'll be so many people out there that may not trust you one bit. They may think you're full of hot air. You're full of crock of you know what. But guess what happens if you trust yourself, if you believe in yourself? Even if you are the only person who believes, you achieve. If you are the only person you believe, you achieve. You know what? That may need to go in the next affirmation book. But besides that, you hear what I'm saying, guys. You have to be able to trust yourself and have confidence in yourself. And I'm not saying you're going to be 100% right or have 100% conviction, and you may have some reservations in that, but at the very minimal, trust yourself. Now, reason number 3 is super common. You are not ready. Yeah, a lot of people think that they aren't ready because they are afraid of success. They can smell it out, they can see it coming, and the future looks so bright, the future looks so big. They are terrified of stepping into those shoes. They say, how can I ever be so great? I just can't do it. I can't. Why do they say that? Because they're not ready. They're afraid of the greatness. And I can think of a few times in my life when I saw things coming that I couldn't believe were going to happen. And one of them was driving in President Obama's motorcade. And I'll have to tell you guys that story someday. But it all started with a seemingly innocuous question about, hey, do you know how to drive a 15-passenger van? And I said, yeah, sure. I've driven box trucks. I've driven SUVs, sports cars. Yeah, 15-passenger van. I've done it before. I can do that. Next thing I know, they said, well, hey, let me have your passport number, some additional ID. The president's coming to town and he needs people to drive some of his staff around. I said, what? What? And needless to say, going through the Secret Service testing and get a little training. And no, I wasn't driving the beast. I wasn't driving the actual president around, but some of the staffers that get off of Air Force One. So driving on a tarmac, driving down city streets at 65 miles an hour. That was just a whirlwind experience. But I was truly afraid. I said, well, I know how to drive a 15-passenger van, but I'm not ready to meet the president. Sure enough, that time came somewhere during the middle of that day, and all the stops we were making got to meet the president, and it was pretty amazing. And guess what? I had to be ready. There was no choice. He was going to come over and shake my hand and thank me for driving some of his staffers around all day, and furthermore, send me a letter and all of these things and a picture I took with him. And you can see that picture on the gallery page. Just go to drjarrett.com/gallery and you can see the picture I took with some of the other drivers and President Obama. But that is one of the reasons people feel that they are not ready for this change. Well, we've done a good few reasons right now. Number 1, you don't believe you're worth it. Number 2, you don't trust yourself. Number 3, you aren't ready. Oh boy, you better get ready. And that's part of what the investment is about. And number 4, I'm just going to wait until I have the money. You like that pause? Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to wait till I have the money. Yeah, something that people often say. And then they'll have the money for something else. Then they'll have the money for something else. Then the money comes and goes to something else. You may never have the money because that's what you're telling yourself. This is simply a procrastination method. You are waiting to have the money. So you say, well, I'll get the money someday. And where is that money going to come from? The money tree? Yeah, sure. You have to make the time and plan. And yes, it is an investment. And yes, your bank account will go down. And yes, you will have to work to recover that investment. But I know one thing, there are many people out there that are rooting for your success, and they will even guarantee your success. So why not take that risk and say, you know what? Let me make myself a little uncomfortable. Let me take this stretch and spend the money now because I am worth it. I can't tell you how many of my clients have said, you know what? I am so glad I spent the money. I didn't quite know what I was getting into. I knew I needed some help, but it was absolutely exactly what I needed. And you guys have seen a lot of the testimonials and the testimonial reels, and you can find them on social media. You probably even find them on my YouTube channel. But waiting to have the money isn't an option, particularly if you're down and out, particularly if you feel like you don't even know where your next dollar is coming from. This is the exact moment that you have to double down in yourself, because what else do you have to double down on? You must make a change. Now, check out this next one. Reason number 6. Reason number 6. You don't want to be on the hook. What? I have to do work now? I have to do work now? Wait a minute. Okay, this is all fun, and I learned some things, and I know some strategies, but wait, I have to work now? Ooh, yes, you do. That's what all of this is about. It's about #work. You have to get some work done. And you have to get the right team of people to help you out to get the work accomplished. But a lot of times people don't want to take that initial step because they feel they're going to be on the hook for something. If I spend $5 or $10 or $20,000 on something, you better believe I better have something to show for it. And so, hey, a lot of times I don't get things done, and I would hate to spend this money and really have nothing to show for it. Well, that's true. And that is a reason to maybe take some trepidation in what we're saying. And if we know that is one of your weaknesses, get back to the things that you had been doing. In order for you to get to this point in your life right now, you had to work hard. You wouldn't be listening to my show if you weren't a hard worker. You wouldn't be listening to my show if you weren't a successful worker. You wouldn't even know about this if you weren't successful. You are looking at other strategies to build yourself for the better, and you don't want to be on the hook for having to make that change. I might have to get into it. I have a really long list of these, so I probably will have to bring another episode at some time, but I'm going to stop at 7. I'm going to stop at 7 today because I'm not going to have this episode go on for 2 hours. But check out number 7. Why are we afraid to invest in ourselves? You want to stay the same. If you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and subscribe to Licensed to Live. Hey, and if you ever have comments, feedbacks, you think that what I'm saying is baloney, shout me out. Let's talk about it. And if you don't want to talk about it on the show, hit me up on LinkedIn. That's where I hang out in between shows. Find me there and all social media at Dr. Jarrett, or come to timewithdrjarrett.com. It is always a pleasure to be hanging with you guys every single show. And until then, see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.